Back at it again.
We're old, corny men. That suck too.
I love it.
This is Gets Old Podcast. I am the older of the old corny men, Chris.
And this is the not so old of the old corny men, but I am the corniest.
Oh,
Jeff.
for sure.
I'm not afraid to admit it. I am the corniest.
For sure.
By far.
Well, Jeff, we got big news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news. Justin Bieber may or may not be starting a church.
So that's why he's not doing any more concerts. And everybody that bought tickets, did they get refunded for those tickets?
No idea. I'm not his tour manager. I don't know how that goes. I'm not
30
Ticketmaster.
30-day return policy or something like that.
But he has decided, according to TMZ, according to TMZ and then according not to TMZ, he goes on and refutes it later. But for the sake of this podcast, which will probably come out, and then the next day he'll have a big in-depth interview saying we're wrong, but let's just pretend we're right. Which is what I normally do.
We are
anyways. Right. He's starting a church, and he's going to not be doing his concerts right now. My question is, why is it that pastors, like, you can't just, I mean, I guess you technically can, but you can't just go start a church. Like, you have to have education.
Yeah.
It's the most annoying thing. It would be like me, because I flush a toilet, coming to your house and saying I'm a plumber. Like, it's the most annoying thing on earth. Or, hey, I microwave macaroni and cheese in the microwave for my daughter.
But you're not going to go on Hell's Kitchen.
No, I'm not Bobby Flay over here. I'm not
Guy Fieri.
It's Fieri.
Fieri.
Fieri. Yes.
Fieri.
I always thought it was Fieri, but no, it's actually Fieri. But I'm not that. I look a little bit like him. Not as bedazzled. You know, I don't have a sunglasses on the back of my head.
You know, I heard the other day that the sauce, the special sauce that he's known for or whatever, is just Thousand Island dressing. I think all special sauce in the world is Thousand Island dressing.
I don't know one thing. I didn't know he had real restaurants. Like
just has shows where he goes to other people's restaurants
and eats like a fat slob.
Yeah.
That's the best job in the world.
It's a pretty darn good job.
Going to people's restaurants, getting in their kitchen, and he doesn't even wait to be served. He just eats it like right out of whatever they're cooking it in. It's like French fries right out of the fryer. He just grabs a handful, just scarfs them down.
He gushes about them for like a half an hour. Like, oh my God, that was the best thing I ever had. You thought I'd never seen other food before until you got there.
All that food can't be that good.
No. You go to some of those places and you're like, okay, well,
we have one here, Blue Ash Chili. You know, it's good. I love Blue Ash Chili. It's not life-changing chili.
Yeah. You'd have thought if you'd watched whenever he ate it that, he grew an inch or two.
Uh-oh. Breaking news here.
Breaking news.
My wife just texted me, said, "Did you see the accident at the Ohio State Fair? This is why I was never allowed to ride fair rides. I never
wanted to ride those rides.
What happened here? Anybody know?
I heard that people were hurt and possibly more.
One person was killed at the Ohio State Fair. Let's see what's going on here.
If it's a spinny ride, then that makes total sense because I'd never get on any spinny ride ever.
All right, it says the ride had 5 riders per cart. This piece snapped off, and the riders came out of the cart, and at least 2 people flew in the air at least 20 feet before landing on their backs on concrete.
I'm gonna say this is a really proud moment for me because whenever we decided to do a podcast, I never realized there'd be any sort of journalism involved in this. I thought we were just gonna talk. I'm really proud of you right now.
No, I mean when my wife texts me, the problem is on these pictures, I can't tell what kind of ride it is.
Is it that bad of an accident?
No, it's like they've got different. I feel like they just got stock photos of. It looks like a metal octopus. I don't know what is going on here.
Like a scrambler or something like that?
Here it goes. It said, they identified it as the Fireball. That just sounds bad news.
Yeah.
I'm not getting on.
There's not too many things called Fireball that are good news.
My neighborhood right across the street from me has a fair all the time, like for Memorial Day. They used to have one for 4th of July. They have fireworks, but they have one for Memorial Day, and they bring in all these rides. And I'm dead serious. They had a 10-year-old running one of the rides, like snapping people in. And I was like, what is going on? And he wasn't like a little person. I thought maybe he's a midget or a little person.
Yeah.
Or what? No, he was like legit 10, and he had a dip in his mouth. I'm like,
oh my gosh.
I kind of respected just the corniness of the whole situation.
Man, you've got, there's a wide range of activities going on down in the city of Reading between 10-year-olds running rides and rap videos being shot. You are at the epicenter
It's a
of
cornucopia of just white trashness.
It's a melting pot of nothing.
I wish the
want.
pot would just melt at this point, but yeah, they had a 10-year-old. Anyways, my daughter, 3.5, and she's little as it is, was going to get on this ride, and I said, it was like this thing that she sits on, and there's all there is like a little band that goes around her, but it's not like elastic at all. It's just snaps in front, and it spins and goes down these hills, and it whips you back and forth. Ugh. And I said to the guy, I said, hey, man, is she big enough to ride this? And he looked at me and goes, do you want her to be? And I said, I just want, is it whatever's safe. That's what I want. Like,
doesn't make you want to.
Is there any rules to this? Like, what is going on here? But so we put her on it. I mean, worst that could have happened is I guess she could have been thrown off about 5-10 feet. But
just the way you're describing the restraint, it makes me think of those bands that snapped at the back of like a mask for a Halloween costume or something like that.
No, that's got elasticity in it. This is just like you know those chains with like plastic around them?
Yeah.
That's what it was like an old dog leash from the 80s. That's what it was like. That's what was holding her in.
So not only was a 10-year-old running this thing in the city of Reading, it was probably built in the city of Reading.
No, this thing has been around since 1965.
Oh.
I mean, it was old and rickety, but she had fun. That fair was a lot of fun. They had, I don't know, probably 500 people there and at least 6 beer trucks, all serving the same beer. It was like Miller Lite, and they were all full at all times. I'm like, what is going on here?
It's all the parents just getting beer, and they're just like, just go ride the ride with the 10-year-old that's monitoring you guys.
I'm like, how much beer is being consumed? The outside smelled like beer for like 2 days afterwards. It was crazy.
Beer per capita must have been pretty high.
Oh, dude. And then people were like everybody was smoking down there, and like it's 2017. I realize people smoke, but most people have like a little shame about it at this point. Yeah. They'll go like hide in a corner or just not around. Not down there, man. They were just smoking right in the atmosphere, just right at you.
Big plume of it as soon as you open your door.
You're walking around. It looked like a Civil War reenactment.
I have noticed there are a lot. I mean, maybe it's just one of those things that you saw someone, you thought about it, and now I see everybody that smokes. But I do see a lot of people smoking still, and it surprises me because you're bombarded with those awful commercials on TV that show you things you never, ever want to see. And those of us who have
I smoked for 20 years.
Yeah. Or the guy that, like, takes the bottom part of his jaw off, and you're just like, oh, I'm watching football.
He is missing an opportunity. He should go to Vegas.
Yeah.
And that be, learn some basic card tricks, and then at the end, show somebody, and they give them their card and say, your card was a 4 diamonds, and I flip over a card, and I say, hey, is this your card? And it says the Jack of Clubs, and you're like, no, that's not your card. Then I take my whole bottom of my mouth off, and inside that, I flip it around, and there's your card.
Welcome to the Bellagio. Tonight's act is the great Giardini.
Yeah, that would be the greatest magic trick. He's missing. I mean, poor guy. It sucks that happened to him.
Right.
But that's making lemonade out of lemons, man.
Yeah.
I feel like I should be a motivational speaker for these guys.
I tell you.
But they were smoking down there, and it just smelled like beer. It was like what every Baptist pastor in the 80s used to preach would happen if you sent your kid to a public school. Like, that's what they thought public school looked like, was right down there.
Smoking, drinking all the same beer.
Yeah, and a bunch of pregnant teenagers.
And a bunch of pregnant teenagers.
That's what was going on down there. But yeah, man, that sucks that those people died. I won't get on anything like that.
And I don't think I've ever ridden. I cannot think of a ride at a fair. And I've been to the Butler County Fair a lot whenever I was growing up, but I don't remember ever getting on a ride.
I don't do it. Like even at like Kings Island where I know they're safe, or like anything that's gonna like.
See, now Kings Island, I do get on the rides.
I don't
but
get on
not,
nothing,
not
man.
When it
I'm
comes
too old. Everything hurts when I get off.
When it comes to a fair, I do one of two things: I sit, or I eat. Eat a lot. Because
how is a fair any different than the rest of your day then?
Because they fry. Well, yeah. Well, I mean, I don't really fry everything. They fry everything at a fair. You can get fried whatever. If you want fried flip-flops, they got that. But fried Oreos, you get your elephant ears, and I can never think of the word. Oh, funnel cake. I always want to call it waffle fries or something. It's not waffle
I
fries.
love me a funnel cake.
Oh, funnel cakes are so good. And you got the layer of powdered sugar on top so that you're walking around, you try and take a bite, and then you breathe out your nose, and all of a sudden it's just all over whoever's in front of you at the time.
The best thing, like, I don't like to ride the rides anymore at any of the amusement parks. Disney's not so bad. I've got vertigo, so I can't go up in the air. I get so dizzy.
Yeah.
But the best thing I've done at an amusement park is my brother-in-law, Jake, and I, when we went to SeaWorld with the whole family, we got the all-you-can-eat lunch passes. Well, actually, it was all-you-can-eat all-day passes.
Now, is this everything or just a certain kind of restaurant?
No, it's almost everything in the park. It's not like Disney where they have a lot of sit-down restaurants, but they have, like, it's a lot of fast casual. So they'll have ribs at a fast casual. They'll have fajitas.
Damn.
They'll have, and we were going and eating. Got ribs for like our fourth meal, and we're sitting down and we're complaining about how much our stomachs hurt, and we walk out and we smell fajitas, and we didn't even say a word to each other. We just turned right into the fajita place. I don't know that I saw one stinking fish the whole time I was at SeaWorld.
See, now that doesn't sound like a deal. That sounds like a challenge that is just begging for someone to
The problem
kill
was
themselves with. And I would totally do that.
Yeah, the problem was it was no less than 400 degrees outside. So
with 300% humidity.
Oh, dude, it felt like it was about to rain on top of me the whole day. It's 400 degrees. You're sitting there watching sea otters prance around the stage. You're like, I don't care about these stinging sea otters. I'm miserable. You're just sweating profusely, and you get a whiff of something, and you're like, I've got to eat it. I've got to put that in my mouth. I don't know why. You're just drawn to it. So, like you said, we did it, and the only thing that gave us a little relief was we went and saw the Shamu show, or what I don't know what the whale is now. I think
sounds right.
They're all about dead anyways, but
something like that.
The whale would come up and hit you with water. That was fun. That gave us some relief. Other than that, I was just a sweaty, stuffed mess, and it was probably the most beautiful day of my life, right up next to my child being born. It's like that was one. Sadie's birth was 1A.
Just because anytime you had the notion of eating something, there was a myriad of options, and you'd already paid for it, so you just be like, here, give me food.
I didn't even pay for it. Her grandma did.
Ooh,
it was fantastic.
It's free, all-you-can-eat food.
It's like you wake up one day and somebody's like, here's all this delicious food, and I'm going to give it to you. You don't have to do anything for it. It was like God's gift of salvation. Like, there was nothing I did to earn it. It was bestowed upon me.
That's pretty awesome. I can't think of too many situations I've had like that.
No, it was.
I will have to agree. That was about.
Speaking of best days, what has been the best day of your life?
The best day of my life. Well, there's some fighters in there, some options.
The most fun. We'll put it that way.
The most.
What is the most fun, most enjoyable day that you've ever had?
I'll tell you,
And if this has anything to do with Star Wars or
No.
Star Trek,
No.
I'm
You can
booting you out of the church.
You can feel some relief in that I'm not going to tell you it was the opening of The Force Awakens, although that was a really good day. But there was a day a couple of weeks ago that me and Hannah got to go to.
Did you forget her name for a second?
No, I was going to say my fiance, but then I thought that'd be weird just to say my fiance. It's like she
My
has
fiance.
a name. Her name
My
is Hannah.
fiance.
Her name is Hannah. But we had tickets to go to the Reds game, and then we also had tickets to go to the FC Cincinnati game on the same day. We got to see, I think it was the Reds and the Brewers, and the Reds won, which has been a rare occurrence this year. And then not even, I think by the time that game ended, it was about 3 hours until the FC Cincinnati game. So we had just enough time to run over to Yard House down there on the banks, get some food, which is an amazing place. And then we went up to the FC Cincinnati game, which, oh yeah, by the way, I totally forgot there's actually a person in this room that was with me on that day.
It wasn't me because y'all don't invite me to crap. So
Well, we do, but then you say
I haven't been
you don't wanna
invited
go.
somewhere since '78.
I don't know who invited you then because I was not alive.
Neither was I, but
But no, our producer JD and his girlfriend were also with us at the Reds game. Then whenever we went to the FC Cincinnati game, that was the home opener, and we got to see them beat whoever they played. I can't remember now.
this is the
4-0.
longest story.
Yeah, I know.
All you had to say was a couple weeks ago we went to the Reds game and the FC Cincinnati game,
yeah,
and we ate at Yard House.
but that
Why
doesn't
did it
sound-
take 40 minutes to tell the story?
Because it was a long day, but it was a long, fun day.
And then at 12:04 p.m., I ate 3 sticks of gum. Then at 12:06, I swallowed half that gum. That was a long story. Chris, what was your favorite day? My best day, most fun day. 2. We took a Walmart raft down. I don't know what the different class of rapids are, but whatever the highest is, back that off by like 1 or 2. We took that Walmart raft down those with no life jackets and about died. That was awesome.
That does.
And the other one was I saw U2 in concert in the tour where they had the heart. You guys are probably too young for it, but there was a heart that was part of their stage, and you could go into the heart as they were like special tickets.
Oh wow.
And one of my buddies knew somebody up there, and Bono was like 3 feet from me, and I was weeping uncontrollably because I was overwhelmed. He's like, I still haven't found him. Like, get it, Bono! Oh man, I was so excited for that. And then, yeah. But your day sounds fun. It sounds sweaty. I don't like to.
I mean, it wasn't too terrible. It was warm, but it's not like it's been the last week.
I make my decisions in life based on how much I'm going to sweat. So
I should probably start doing
if
that.
there's things outside, I'm like, not in July and August. I ain't doing it, man.
See, now I found a rule kind of like that, but for coldness, because me and my parents went to a Bills-Bengals game last November, and that was miserable. Like, by the time the game was, it was in the third quarter, and the Bengals were losing. It was after A.J. Green got hurt. I was just like, I just want to go home.
I don't get cold. I mean, I get cold, but it doesn't affect me.
Oh, I got cold.
I cannot. I don't care about it.
We were up high. You had to keep getting up because everybody had to go to the bathroom at all points, at every minute.
No, heat is way worse for me. In fact, the reason I quit going to the movies, besides the fact that I want to punch a teenager in the face every time he kicks the back of my chair, is last time we.
What movies are you going to see?
Like, I don't know. We see like Iron Man and that kind of crap.
Yeah, okay.
Whatever, dude. It's been a while.
kind of begin the Marvel universe.
But one of the last times we went, well, we've probably seen maybe 2 or 3 movies after this, but my wife made me go see Trouble with the Curve. Look up, JD, look up what year that was.
Trouble with the Curve. That's the Clint Eastwood.
Clint Eastwood. That's
Yeah.
got to be, what, 2013?
2012. I'm going to say 2012.
All right, 2012. So
Didn't even see it.
So I've probably seen 3 movies since then in the theater. But my wife makes me go and I do not want to see this crappy movie. I have the innate ability to see something and immediately know if it sucks or not.
Yeah.
And I saw that and I said, this is going to suck. And it sucked. And we walked in and I'm mad at her because I don't want to go see this movie. And she's like, well, Mom and Dad already bought tickets and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, fine. So we go in. And at this point, I'm wearing a just regular shorts, like plaid shorts, and a white long sleeve shirt because it was probably about 75, 76 outside. We walk into the movie theater, it's 175 in there.
Really?
So I sit down and I'm already mad. And I said, I'm so hot in here. Let's just leave. I'll give your parents some money. No, I want to see this movie. I want to see this. I said, fine. So I'm taking my shirt off. And she goes, you aren't going to do it. I said, Tiff, I don't care. I'm taking my shirt off. It's too hot. No, you're going to get us kicked out. So I took the button-up shirt and I undid it all the way, completely undone. And I opened it up like Michael Jackson, you know, in that music video where it's like, ah!
Yeah.
I did it just like that, and I let it sit like an old lady's shawl on my shoulders. And I just sat there, hairy chest, belly hanging. I did not care. And so this is with the lights on. This is 20 minutes before the movie starts. And she is like so embarrassed. We're not even married yet. She is so embarrassed. Well, next thing I recognize her parents' friends are walking up, and I make eye contact with them, and I think, well, at this point, I'm already committed. Like, I can't just...
It's not like you're going to button it back up.
Yeah, what am I
and they're
going to
not
button
gonna
it back
notice.
up like I got caught making out with my girlfriend in the back seat by the cops? I mean, I've got my shirt off, so I've got to just leave it off as they walk up. There's no buttoning it up.
So there's now a new level of low for movies. It's how bad is it? Is it worthy of Chris stripping? Then it's really
Am
bad.
I going to take my shirt off? So the worst part about this is I've got my shirt, you know, unbuttoned completely, no undershirt, just sitting there. They make eye contact. They're like, hey, well, in order for them to get by us because they were going to go sit by her parents, we didn't know they were going to be there. I had to stand up. And when I stood up, they were like walking by me, rubbing my naked chest as they walked by. I didn't give a crap, man. I did not care one bit. I was just like, whatever, dude. So, yeah. So that's anyways. And then Clint Eastwood in that movie, the worst scene I've ever seen. He's going to his wife's grave, and I sleep through 3/4 of it. She keeps waking me up, and all of a sudden I see Clint Eastwood at his wife's grave, and he sings, "You are my sunshine, my only sunshine."
It's a movie where Clint Eastwood sings?
Yeah, he sang that to her, and everybody is, you know, tears in their eyes. And I cannot stop laughing. It is the worst. I'm like, is anybody watching this crap? Like, why are we watching this?
People are like having emotional breakdowns, and you're over here like, what? Look.
Yeah, I couldn't do it, man. So I don't even know why we're talking about movies, but that's I don't go to movies. So I don't there's not a lot that we do outside of like family stuff.
Just sitting at home and watching TV and playing with
We do a lot of
watching Doc McStuffins.
a lot of grill outs. I take my daughter places.
Yep.
I'll take her to the movies because I'll take her during the day when there's nobody there, and her and I will sit and, you know, in those big reclining seats, and I'll fall asleep and just let her run around the movie theater. It's parent of the year right there. But we're going to take a break here, and we'll come back here in a few. All right, back from the bathroom. Got our break done.
Break's over.
Hey, I think we're going to, at this point, we're going to try something new. We promised you guys an interview with my buddy Dave from I'm going to jack up his podcast. Hold on here. I think we have
Fantasy Soccer, wasn't it?
Fantasy Soccer FC podcast.
Yes, Fantasy Soccer.
I think we got more listeners than they do, though. So
I like that.
we've only been doing it for 3 weeks, so they can.
There was on our first full episode. There was close to 100, wasn't there?
We had over 100 on our second one already.
That is remarkable.
Or as I like to say, just shy of 10,000.
Just shy.
9,990. Or no, 900.
There was a good percentage of 10,000 listeners that listen to our podcast.
No, there's a horrible percentage of 10,000 listeners.
No, but you can swing facts.
That's like,
anyway.
what, 1%?
Alternative facts.
So there we go. But we're going to try to do a sneak attack interview on him. He does not know we're going to call. JD, go ahead and give him a ring. Here, let's see if he answers. This is either going to be great or it's going to bomb completely. Either way, we're going to leave it in. We are making the phone call.
It'd be funny if he had the only cell phone plan ever.
Let's see what time it is.
Minutes.
It is 10:45 at night, and he's got like 14 kids, too. Here we go. If he doesn't answer, JD, just hang up before it gives his voicemail number out.
We don't leave messages.
I'm going to leave him a message. Let's hear what his voicemail says. I can always edit it.
It is ringing.
What's he got? Like a 9-ringer voicemail?
This is the one that's trying to really make sure you're committed.
What did it say? Disconnect? Well, that stunk. Grapes.
First
blew
attempt
it, buddy.
unsuccessful.
You blew it. There goes. Everybody don't go listen to his stupid podcast.
A lucrative chance at an interview on a very successful podcast.
His podcast is garbage. I think he has to get up super early in the morning. But, no, that's a garbage podcast, and we hate him. Now we have a mortal enemy. We needed an enemy podcast.
I don't even understand fantasy soccer.
I don't know if he has an iPhone or not.
Well, then
let's not try him again.
That could be the problem.
He's a grown man with kids and responsibility. It's more fun to have an enemy at this point.
Exactly.
I mean, we could have had him on and talk about. I don't even know what fantasy soccer is. Nobody cares. But we thought we might try to be nice. I was throwing him a bone, really.
Suppose it's fantasy football, but with soccer players.
I don't know. Who cares?
Know how you do that.
It's not soccer's not even a real sport. So, but I was trying to have him on. He's been down on his luck. I was trying to have him on. Boost their podcast numbers. Let him get on the juggernaut that we are. But he didn't answer. So you know what? You're a mortal enemy.
You offered an olive branch.
Yeah. Everybody go leave comments on their iTunes telling them that
Fantasy Soccer FC podcast.
just tell them that Gets Old Fast podcast sent you here, and we are better than them.
The shot heard round the podcasts.
Don't put any vulgarity. Don't put anything negative. You might want to say Grapes is not as handsome as the rest of us, but that's about it. But just know they've met a mortal enemy here. So we'll just have to move on from here. I've got a video that I found. I sent to you earlier.
Yeah, it was gold.
It's only 22 seconds. I don't have any idea about the copyright legality of it.
Something tells me it might not be that big of a deal.
I don't think so, because this video was from like 1970 something.
Easily.
But
when YouTube was getting started.
So we're going to do. We're going to go ahead and play it for you.
Sound only, so this is gonna.
Yeah, we're going to go. I'm going to.
Guy's got great hair.
I'm going to set the stage for you, but we're going to go ahead and play this video for you, and then I'm going to break it down second by second of it once it gets done.
Expository of this video.
Yes, go ahead. It's Captain Lou Albano, who most of you guys my age would know from wrestling. He used to be a wrestling manager. He also played Mario on the TV show. He's given a PSA to the kids. Go ahead and listen to this.
I'm Captain Lou Albano talking to you about drugs. Kids, don't be afraid to say no. Anyone that asks you to use drugs is not your friend. Drugs can and will kill. Remember, don't be afraid to turn to your priest, your rabbi, your minister, your moms, your dads, your teachers, because drugs can kill. And if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
It's a timeless message.
Oh, whoa! That is the greatest thing I've ever seen. So we're gonna go back.
And on that bombshell,
go back, JD, and start this again. Go ahead and start it again.
I do aspire to have that sort of a mustache. That's a pretty bold.
Don't be afraid to say no. Anyone that asks you to use drugs is not your friend. Drugs can and will kill. Remember, don't be afraid to turn to your priest, your rabbi, your minister,
Stop right
your moms,
there.
your dads, your teachers.
I should have warned you there. So he says, can't. First of all, we're doing great. He's warning kids drugs can and they will kill. Mm-hmm. Anybody that offers you drugs is not your friend. I disagree on that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people that offer you drugs that are probably your friend.
Right.
That's usually where you get drugs is from a friend.
JD has offered me Tylenol many a time.
Yes. people that smoke weed together, they're friends.
Yeah.
They might not be a good friend, but I've done stuff to you. I've not offered you drugs, but if just because I do something bad, Captain Lou's being a little judgy here. I'm feeling
A little bit.
he's being a little bit too judgmental. Just because I might do something negative that could ruin your life forever doesn't mean you're not my friend.
Exactly.
I might not be the greatest guy, but I'm a friend. But he starts off solid there.
Yeah.
Giving the advice, hey,
All in one breath.
drugs are bad. Now, pick it up from here, and I'm going to tell you when to stop. Wait.
Because drugs
And then he tells you, I forgot about this. Then he tells you, he lists everybody that you should go talk to.
Everyone.
Your parents, your priest, go back.
Didn't mention any sort of teacher or principal
Go
there.
go ahead and play it here.
He's too.
But
He's
don't
too
be
cool
afraid
for
to
school.
turn to your priest, your rabbi, your minister, your moms, your dads, your teachers.
Okay, go back. All
because
right, stop. And rewind a little bit.
Priest, rabbi, minister.
So he said, don't be afraid to go talk to your priest, your rabbi, and a minister. What kid has all three of those?
Yeah, I know.
What religion is this kid?
And what is the age demographic? Is because rabbi. Do they know what a rabbi is if they're like 5 years old?
If they're
and they're
Jewish.
not Jewish. If you're not Jewish, you're like,
Well, this kid
what
has
is
all
that
three.
word?
This kid has all three.
Yeah, that's a heck of a
You're
kid,
an
I'll tell you.
anti-Semite, is what we're finding out tonight.
I'm not an
finding
anti-Semite. I'm
out
just
just
saying.
an
When I was
anti-Semite.
5 years old, if you'd have said the word rabbi to me, I'd been like,
Oh, maybe you didn't listen.
it's not Easter.
Maybe
Where's
you
the
didn't
rabbit?
listen into the Bible stories, because I did. When I was 5, I knew what a rabbi
I
was.
wasn't breaking it down by the greetings that he had.
But this kid has all three. He has, don't be afraid to go tell your priest, your rabbi, and your minister. Nobody calls pastors ministers anymore.
See what it is. This is a very inclusive kid. He doesn't want anyone to feel left
Oh,
out.
we're going to
so
get
he
in,
goes all three. Of
We're
those.
going to get into inclusivism here in a second, but minister. No one calls pastors minister anymore. The only time I ever hear minister is from like an old lady or if I'm doing a wedding. They'll say, "Where's the minister?"
That's true.
Because it's awkward to introduce yourself as Minister Chris.
I don't even think I've thought of that word before I watched this video. Did
What does your dad do? He's a minister. Nobody says that.
Minister?
So he needs to update his lingo a little bit. He needs to get with the times. He needs to get hipper. He needs to say pastor. But go back just a little bit, JD, on that. No, not that far. Well, that's fine. Just play it.
Not your friend. Drugs can and will kill. Remember, don't be afraid to turn to your priest, your rabbi, your minister, your moms, your dads, your teachers,
Okay,
because
stop.
drugs.
Your moms and your
Did
dad.
say teachers. I was
He said teachers at the end. Nowhere has he mentioned a law enforcement professional
right.
or a medical professional.
Ma, this guy over on the corner, he offered me drugs. Oh, honey, come in. You're never leaving the house again. That's where that ends.
No, or hey, Rabbi Goldstein.
Rabbi Goldstein.
What's Rabbi Goldstein going to do? He ain't doing nothing. You come to Minister Chris and tell him somebody's selling drugs. I'm calling the cops.
Right.
You make my job easier. Don't come to me and expect me to do it. You're old enough to watch this video. Get on the phone and call, kid. Somebody offering you drugs. You're obviously, what are we saying, 10, 11, 12 here? You can make a call.
He's obviously making a statement of the intellect at the time that he figured kids did not know how to dial 911.
I guess, but he the other thing that he says afterwards, he says, "Moms, call your moms and your dads." I think he's progressive.
Yeah.
I think he's talking to kids with 2 moms and 2 dads.
Moms, dads, plural. Yeah, I can see that. But on the other end of the spectrum, he's singling out single parent families. Because he doesn't say go to your mom or go to your dad.
Well, because I think Captain Lou is thinking those kids they're doomed anyways.
Those are the kids offering.
Those are the
drugs.
kids doing the drugs.
Can't save them.
No. So apparently, unless you're like a modern family with 2 moms or 2 dads, that's his target audience here. That's why they have 3 different spiritual people in their lives.
Yes.
This family has a lot going on. Drugs might be beneficial to them.
They're busy.
This kid might need to take the drugs. He's got
They're
a lot
church-
going on.
They're at church Sunday, Wednesday, Saturday. Like, they don't ever not go to
No,
church.
go ahead and play the rest of it here.
Or the synagogue.
Dads, your teachers, because drugs can kill. And if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die.
And there's
That's
the
so
money
weird.
maker.
Please.
The money maker right there.
It's so weird.
I wonder if he realized it, like if he ever watched it. I don't know if he ever watched it, but like, did they do different takes? Was this one take? He only got one take to say his thing, and then boom, it's done. Because no one catches that before you die?
Well, this is like a governmental PSA. And it's like, I feel like Captain Lou's like, hey, I'll talk about all this. I'm putting some theology in at the end of it. But the problem with it is, which is weird, you never see like an anti-smoking commercial where the guy's like, don't smoke and go to church twice a week. You know, you don't see that.
Right.
But he's trying to throw a little, hey, as a pastor, I appreciate it. Thank you for the help. Theology falls apart, though, at the end.
Yeah. Goes to hell before you die.
You go to hell before you die.
Kind of putting the cart before the horse, sir.
What is he? How did they let that go through?
I just don't think they edited. I think he did this on one take,
Play that again.
two breaths, and just
play
bam,
that
we're done. Roll
part back again, JD.
Was this at a live thing? Maybe
I
this
don't
was
have
part
a
of a
fat
live
clue
thing.
what it was. He's wearing a Mario hat,
That was kind of
like a weirdo.
It was kind of a deal that TV did. Was a bunch of live things.
Here we go. Here we go. He looks nothing like Super Mario, but that's what he's supposed to be here.
This is Super Mario after years of
After he's got the drug addiction.
yeah, way too many mushrooms.
Oh, here we go. JD's screwing it up.
It's buffering.
Your rabbi, your minister, your moms, your dads, your teachers, because drugs can kill. And if you do drugs, you go to hell before you die. Please.
What did he say at the end? What did he say?
He did put something in it. What was that? That piece of bread down.
If you do drugs, you go to hell before you die. Please.
Please. He put a please in the end. No, that makes it so much better.
Oh, I missed that the first time.
Please.
I saw that.
He's pleading.
Please don't go to hell before you die.
Please.
I mean, I preached Sunday
come
here.
on. Oh my goodness.
And I think that's what I'm going to preach on.
Going to hell before you die?
Yes, please don't go to hell before. Maybe he's being like super metaphysical and he's saying that drugs will make it hell on earth. Maybe we're not as smart as Captain Lou here.
Make your life just get super miserable and then you die.
Right, you're in hell and then you die.
I don't know. He's getting awful deep for somebody that's got 2 moms / 2 dads and has 3 a minister, a rabbi, and a priest.
And a Super Mario hat on his head. But
And his Super Mario house.
we might not. Like I said, I'm a child of the 80s. Maybe that's what was going on back then. You know, people were
Go to hell
they were
before you
woke
die.
back then. You know, we were just not we're not on that level, but yeah, that's crazy. The please at the end
Please.
is the best.
What is he? Because, all right, so the whole time he's talking about do this, do that, do this, do that. He didn't ask anything. So what's the please for?
Yeah, I don't know. He made a
Turn the whole thing into
what
a
is
question.
what is that? What is not a question?
A pleading?
What is that called? When you say, please do this. It's not a declaration.
It's a request. He's requesting?
Request. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, we're smart tonight. But at the end, he makes all these declarative statements, and then at the end he says, please. It makes literally no sense. This is the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, I don't understand why the drug problem is where it is today. No one watched this video, apparently.
No, this video would have single-handedly eliminated crack cocaine.
Obviously.
I mean, we got all these heroin problems up here in Ohio right now. That's all we need. I'm going to buy that 30 seconds of airtime, and I'm going to have everybody tune in all at once. And we're going to play that, and you're just going to hear the clang of needles falling on the ground. Just clink, clink, clink. I don't know if needles fall on the ground, but you're going to hear the clang and some of the people's teeth falling out. But we're going to see in our lifetime heroin erased because of this video of Captain Lou.
There was, and I forget exactly where it is in the United States, but it was a video on Facebook of they've put a giant pill bottle on the corner of a sidewalk in the middle of a big city that you can walk in, and it's supposed to be a symbol of how drugs trap you. They should have just played this video.
Yeah, that's
Like,
all they need.
Giant pill bottle, whatever. Actually, in the video, there's a video of an older guy walking by and rolling his eyes. Like, what's that gonna do?
Have you ever seen the video? You're probably too young. This is your brain. This is your brain on drugs. Have you ever
I've
seen the video?
That. Yeah,
okay.
yeah. I've
Where
seen
they take an egg and they say, "This is your brain," and then they crack it and they fry it, and this is your brain on drugs.
that. Yeah.
I didn't understand that. That's been out forever. All I knew is I was so hungry after I watched that video every time. So I equated drugs with breakfast.
It's actually simulating part of at least something with drugs. Don't they give you the munchies or something?
I don't know.
I'm a little
Stoner.
bit naive to that, but it's in movies.
Yeah, all I could do was equate breakfast food to drugs. So it was like cereal. I was like, I'm gonna go get high on these
Go get you
fruity.
some Cocoa Puffs.
I'm gonna go get that fruity pebble, son. You know, it was great. I'm gonna get those French toast sticks.
There's a reason those charms are lucky.
How did Grapes not answer the phone? We need to figure out what we're gonna do to declare war on his podcast.
That was getting ready to be an all-time interview, and instead that is the fire starter. There's
Oh
a
yeah, my
fire
anger
in
is
this room.
kindled towards him.
Cannot believe it.
I was
Kindled.
thinking the other day
Good word.
that I do not have one enemy in the world right now,
I kind of don't either.
which is weird for me.
Yeah, I could see. I mean, with you, I could definitely see why it's weird.
I've had enemies.
Yeah.
I mean, in college, I had 100 enemies.
I mean, we don't know the names of the employees that work at Taco Bell. They might not like you, but
Why would they not like me?
I don't know. You just because I don't know. It was a stupid idea. Never mind. Whatever.
I've done nothing to a Taco Bell employee but appreciate their service in wrapping my chili cheese burrito
Yeah.
with proficiency and expertise.
They do that. I had a couple of
You
those.
said
today.
you do. Yeah, I was thinking the other day, I do not have a single enemy in life,
Yeah, I'm kind of with you there.
which is weird for me because I normally have a list of people that I want to destroy. You know, besides this podcast,
That is very descriptive. People you want to destroy.
destroy. Not like, I don't want to physically harm anybody. I just want to see their life ruined,
Right.
which is a bad thing for a pastor.
Yeah.
Like I
I can see that.
I want to ruin their life, and then I want to pray for them and see it restored, and then ruin it one more time, and then restore it, and then maybe ruin it like halfway. You know, just knock them down halfway. But no, I don't have one enemy anymore, which is I had a ton in college. You know, people I just did not like. You know, I don't know.
Sure.
I'm sure there's people that don't like me, but I don't know any off the top of my head that.
Well, and in college, you know, way back when you were in college, you were in close proximity with a lot of people. Right now, the only people you're in close proximity with is your family, and you don't really want to destroy.
No,
them.
I'm
Okay, good.
But I mean, I'm around people at church. I'm around other people.
Yeah,
You know,
but
it's
there's
not like
nobody-
I live a hermit lifestyle.
Yeah,
I live a half hermit. I live a herm.
you're like a hermit crab.
Yes, I'm a herm.
Sometimes you swim.
Sometimes I get out. I'll poke my head out of the house, see what's going on, realize it's much better inside my shell. Turn back in.
And ergo, the reason that, we're not too keen to invite you to things.
A simple invite would be nice. You know, just say, hey, Chris, just give me the opportunity to say no. Like, you can invite me to 100 things. 100 out of 100 times I'm going to say no.
I was going to say maybe 99, but okay, 100. Okay.
And that one time that I say yes, I'm going to bail on at some point.
Well, the way that you describe, because a lot of the times when I think to invite you, I'm going to a Reds game. And the way that you describe
Don't invite me to a Reds game.
your own personal experiences at Reds games, you want to leave in the fourth inning. And
Yes.
I will stay through everything.
I want to get there in the second and leave by the fifth. That's what I want to do. And I'm so spoiled now that I have not had bad seats to a Reds game in forever. We usually get the scout seats.
Oh, my goodness.
So I don't have to park with the riffraff.
You got your own special concession area.
We pull in underneath the stadium, walk right into underneath the stadium, right there to our seats.
Yep.
Have your own private bathrooms, have your own private concession stand.
Done it one time in my life.
Oh, I've done it like the last 10 times we went, except for the last time we went with our family. But I go, it's the greatest thing ever.
It's a step. It's like one step below the diamond seats, which cost $250 a ticket.
Yeah. And where we sit,
$280. Yeah, they
when I
went
get
up.
these scout seats, the usher is right behind me, so I get the satisfaction of seeing person after person try to get through that area, and him say, "Let me see your ticket," and then turning them away, and then me turning toward them with like superiority in my heart, being like,
You give him a Dikembe Mutombo?
"Yes, like no, you're not going in our bathroom, sir.
No,
I'm sorry.
No.
You go back to the cheap seat, sir." Ooh, does your ticket say bleachers? Get out of here. Get out of here. This is not for you.
I've sat in the scout seats one time in my life, albeit it was an extremely epic time to do it. I got to do it for the Home Run Derby in 2015. But beyond that, I will always remember sitting there because you get everything.
Yeah, it's the best.
I mean almost everything. Diamond seats get everything.
Yeah, diamond
but
seats are the real best, but
they bring stuff to you. You don't even
well,
get up.
you know, there's diamond seats, but then there's the boxes.
Air
Luxury
conditioning.
box.
That's
I've been
true.
into a luxury box one time. My mom and dad go all the time through her work.
Mm-hmm.
I need to get the church to buy a luxury box to the Reds game.
That would be amazing.
You know, at the next business meeting, they stand up and say, $25,000 expenditure. What was for that? Chris went to the Reds game. They're like, well, who else did he take? Just Chris.
There's a miscellaneous expense on here. We're not really sure what it is.
Chris had his own box, and he went by himself.
Took no one.
He
Ate everything.
He just took a bunch of pictures of him doing snow angels in the carpet, and he left. He got there in the second. He left in the fifth.
Spent $25,000 for a grand total of like an hour and 15 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know how you guys stay for the whole games. It's so boring when they're losing.
I don't know what it is in me. I mean, there have been multiple games. I can think of at least 5 where I came in, I got my food, I sat down, and I did not move from my seat
Not even for the bathroom?
the entire game. Promise.
Oh, that's disgusting.
Not even bathroom. It's not like I was holding it in and at the 9th inning I was barreled over trying to get to the bathroom. But no, I mean, there's many times, and there's sometimes that if I got high seats, I'll move down, but that'll be the only reason that I got up.
There's many times I get there in the second inning,
And you leave in the 5th.
and I go to the bathroom before I sit down. I get my giant Diet Coke. I take 2 drinks of it. And in the middle of the second inning, I'm back in the bathroom. And then before the third out of the bottom of the second inning, I'm yet again in the bathroom. The private bathroom, because the tickets are expensive in scout seats, private bathroom I go to all the time just because I can.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is so much cleaner
There's
than
no one there. It's air conditioned.
it's the best.
Yeah.
You know, and then I have to get nachos every
Yeah.
time I go.
Oh, yeah.
And that cheese is so gross. They don't even taste good. Like, the thought of the nachos is way better than the actuality of the nachos.
You ever get the helmet nachos?
I've gotten them once, but they're like $15 or $20.
They're a lot of money, and they're a challenge. And if you ever eat the whole thing by yourself, you hate yourself for multiple days afterward.
Oh, I couldn't eat all that nachos.
It was so.
I mean, I could. Let's be
so
honest,
many.
I could. But the best value, and I've got a buddy who does a blog about all the different stadiums and how to go there for cheap and do. We might have to talk to him one day. Maybe we'll call him at the middle of the night too.
Yeah, do
But,
that. I'd love to go to all the stadiums. That'd be awesome.
But I have a. Where was I going with that? I have a buddy who does that. The best value for food in the ballpark is Fry Box
Oh, absolutely.
because I think it's $10.
That makes me very happy that you say that.
Yeah, it's like $10,
I've been giving them free publicity for like
and
the
it's
last
French
3
fries
years.
with pulled pork on top or
Chicken, pulled
buffalo chicken.
Love it.
Oh,
They-
it's so good.
They don't have it now. It's just like they call it like loaded fry box or something like that. But last year they had a thing. It was called pot roast fries. It was just shredded beef with melted cheese, sour cream if you wanted it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's the best. I mean, it's just French fries with crap on it, but it's good.
$12 and it's the healthiest thing you could ever think of.
Yeah, it's super healthy. It is super healthy. You can actually hear yourself dying as you're eating it. It's like, what is that? No, it's just your arteries. They're hardening. You end up looking like Mount Rushmore at the end. You're just all stoned because you're.
That's actually full disclosure. That's why I don't get up because I'm just stuck in the chair after eating fry box.
Oh, it's the
Can't get up.
best. I love ballpark food is good. Now they're getting everything's getting too fancy.
It is getting too fancy. We do have an advocate for the Taste of Belgium being at the Great American Ballpark with us. He likes to get his stuff from Taste of Belgium, but I've had it one time. it's much better if you actually go to the restaurant than
You're
try
you're
to
a
taste buds
sissy
them.
if you're eating that stuff at a Reds game.
Well,
You need to eat a big old hot dog
yeah.
and nachos.
You get a big red smoky. You get you. I mean, I'm an advocate for a nice cold beer. I know you're not so much.
No,
But
even if I did drink, they're like $10.
they are very expensive. I will say that.
It's the biggest waste of money ever. For 10, there's nothing on earth that you could put in a 50 or 12-ounce glass and say this costs $10.
Yeah.
Drink it. I don't care how good it tastes, because Diet Coke tastes good. Water tastes horrible, but I would rather. I mean, yes, there's nothing. And some of those like craft beers they have are like $15.
Oh yeah.
It's a waste.
The last time I went to a Reds game, got bleacher tickets, and actually sat in the bleachers for the entire time. They played the Dodgers. Clayton Kershaw pitched. I remember that, and I was there with my cousin. Well, there was this dude in the row below us that about the 6th inning passed out and just like keeled over forward and was leaning on the bleacher in front of him asleep because he was passed out drunk. I have no idea how much money that dude spent, but it was probably just astronomical to get that drunk.
He's homeless now.
Yeah.
He has nowhere to live.
To get that, I mean, oh my goodness. It's ill-advised with anything, but to go to a ballpark and get blackout drunk?
Now
Unless he snuck in something.
The Bengals
But
games, people,
I
I
don't
understand because people tailgate beforehand and they're drinking hard liquor and
they're in the
you know,
first quarter yelling on like second down
oh,
and 15.
there's nothing worse than going to a Bengals game.
I'm kind of with you, actually.
It's fun. Like
I love the Bengals, but I
love
love
the
watching them
Bengals.
at home.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
And I want there to be a good home field advantage. I'm not going to be that guy to give it to you.
Yeah.
I don't stand up and cheer.
I'll admit, I'll stand up and cheer, but I don't like the people that it's like 4th down, they're punting, and they're so drunk that they're standing up yelling. It's like, they're punting. Come on. What are you yelling for? So he drops the ball?
My dad and I, we go to Bengals games sometimes, and everybody around us is like, defense. And my dad and I are like the only two people in the stadium not talking. We prefer to be dead silent. Now, we'll cheer at a touchdown,
Yeah.
but
And you sing the song.
a lot of
love the song.
no, we don't sing the song.
I love the song.
A lot of
So cheesy.
the listeners probably won't know my dad, but a lot of them will. My dad is not a chanter or like
I do not see your
or
dad
a
doing any
cheerer.
of that.
If you tell him what to do, he is not going to do it, and it's been
Right.
passed down to me. So when it's like, come on, make some noise, make some noise. We are just stoically staring, 1,000-yard stare like Ron Swanson straight ahead.
It just reminds me of that great quote that he said. He's just like, I will resist anyone that tells me to say something. My first wedding took 3 hours because I would not repeat after the minister.
We won't do it. The greatest thing my dad ever did, and this is a memory to this day. We're in Mexico, and I was with my mom and dad and sister, and then they paid for my girlfriend at the time to go. And she didn't really know my parents that well, but we all were in Mexico, and we're staying at this beautiful resort, and there is a show at the resort, and so we go see it one night, and they say, "We need a volunteer," and everybody's like, "Woo!" And so my dad and I get called on every time because
they
we
see
don't
how
cheer.
stoic you are.
Yes. I stare directly down at the ground going, please God, no, please God, no, please God. So every time at Disney, I got pulled out on stage for the Lion King show, and that's in front of 2,000 people.
Because they're jerks.
And so I'm looking down straight ahead, and I see the spotlight coming over towards us, and it lands on my dad, and I think, oh, this is the greatest. This is the greatest. So my dad will usually do what they ask. Like if it's just like, sir, where are you from? He was like, Ohio. He's not. But they said it was a magician.
Oh boy.
And my dad is not doing this. I'm looking at my girlfriend, and I said, he's not going up there.
He's imagining sitting in his recliner watching a Reds game.
No, because they're going to try to embarrass him, or how
Right.
magicians are, or whatever.
Right.
He's not going to do it. And so they say, you, sir, come on up. And my dad just is staring straight ahead, not paying one bit of attention to him. They said, you, sir, in the blue shirt, you. So it's like now my dad politely says, hey, no thanks, man. Pick somebody else. And he goes, ho, 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 come on, sir, you right there. And my dad said, no. So then the guy thinks he's going to be able to peer pressure my dad into getting up to do this. And he goes, come on, everybody, clap, clap, clap. And so people were like, douche, 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 like that. And
he sat down.
My dad looks at the guy and said, y'all can clap all you want all night long. I'm not leaving this seat. And the guy goes, all right, let's find somebody else.
Someone else.
Oh, it was the greatest thing ever. And my wife, my girlfriend at the time looked at me and she's like, you guys are the exact same person. I was like, yeah, that's where I get it from. Don't try to volunteer me for something.
Right.
If I want to do your magic trick, I'll tell you I want to do that magic trick. You don't tell me what I want to do. I'll tell you. I'll walk on the stage as you do it.
I never understood that. And that's a sort of mentality that transfers to everything. I mean, there's like meetings at work or something like that. If they see that you're not engaged and into it, they will try to engage you. But a thing like that just doesn't make any sense at all. It's like you're there for someone else. You obviously don't give.
I don't want, now when we go to Disney, I made a determination because my daughter's with me. I'm not going to be that guy.
Right.
I'll get up. They've made me. I've been at Disney. I've been a teapot. I've been a soldier that was guarding Belle and Belle's castle, and I had to march with Belle. It was like a low budget Belle that day, though. It did not look like Belle. It was like
The Monday afternoon one or something.
I was like, ooh. The 2:00 shift Belle was maybe not Disney material, but I had to do that. They made me make a warthog noise in front of 2,000 people in that theater, and they're like, you're divided into different teams. They say your team is the Warthogs, and the lady that came and got me, and we're on the front row because we're with Tiff's grandma's in a wheelchair. They say she's in the part of the show. She says, I'm looking for my boyfriend. Where's my boyfriend? And I knew out of all 2,000 people, this lady was going to pick me.
Right.
I just knew. And this light's going around, and it lands right on me. And my wife is like, how do they do this to you every time? I'm like, I don't know, dude. So she goes, come here, boyfriend. So I wave to the crowd. I'm like, my daughter thinks I'm the coolest thing ever, And she goes, our team is the Warthogs. Make that warthog noise. So I go, like that. I know what to do.
Right.
And she looks at me. She goes, you nasty. And 2,000 people start laughing at me.
Oh, man.
And I'm like, this is why I hate
Right.
to do anything.
Right.
So the rest of the show, she would be singing something, and then she would, wave over at me. So I had to be engaged for the rest of the show. I'm like, just sing your song. Let me get on my iPhone.
Right.
Pat my daughter on the leg and let her think that daddy's paying attention to it.
Right.
And just go about my day. But no, they don't do it there. They made you do it. So, yeah, don't volunteer the prices for anything. We're not going to do it. I don't know what we were even talking about, but so it goes. You got anything else before we get out of here? We got big plans this weekend?
Not too much going on. I feel like getting on a boat. Gonna be in water somewhere.
For
I'm
what?
not sure exactly what. Hanging out on a boat with some friends. And
Could you be any more vague?
yeah, well,
Are you guys planning a robbery of some sort?
Believe it or not, I asked him because he asked me. He was like, "Hey, you want to go boating on Saturday?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure, cool. Who's coming?" He's like, me, my wife.
What kind of boat do you get on?
He didn't even know that. I was like, "Is it a pontoon boat?" He's like,
Whose boat is this?
I think it's his father-in-law, mother-in-law's boat. I think so, but I don't know where we're going. I don't know if there's even a boat. There might be a boat. There might be a picture of a boat, and we're looking at it.
These people are planning to kidnap you and kill you.
It might
Just
be.
so you know.
I
Do not go do this.
I saw him like a month or two ago. So yeah, I'm hoping not. but
Local news: young man killed by his friends.
on a boat, or maybe
Yeah, he thought he was going to a boat.
there's boating. Then there is that that good old fight that's on TV.
Yeah, John Jones, Daniel Cormier.
Finally, as of this
As of
taping,
this minute, yes.
Jones is still eligible to fight,
And we'll probably
which is amazing.
I'll probably get it at my house.
I'll be there.
The problem is,
Hopefully, if I'm not kidnapped.
yeah, the problem is we got that fight, and then you got the Mayweather fight next week or next month. So that's $160.
27th?
Yeah, it's like 26, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
That's $160 within 30 days on watching half-naked men fight. And it's not even WrestleMania.
Which one will be more entertaining?
I think they'll both be entertaining. I'm all in on this Mayweather-McGregor fight.
I kind of am too.
Just for the spectacle of it. I don't think it'll be a good fight. I think it'll be a terrible fight.
Yeah.
But
they did a good job with the hype train of all those weird press conferences where McGregor was totally disrespectful and then Mayweather was just as goofy. But
well, they're both giant pieces of crap. So they're. I mean, if they could both knock each other out, like I love.
that would be, yeah.
I like McGregor as a fighter. I like watching him fight. I can't stand his mouth, and I can't stand Mayweather. Period. But I like to watch Mayweather fight usually because he's so good.
It's very obvious that both of them derive a lot of self-worth from their how much their net worth is. That how much money they make.
You read my Twitter. It's I put a tweet out. I said, "How sad is it that they derive their self-worth from their net worth?"
Yeah.
And
net worth. I couldn't even think.
They do. That's all they talk about is how much money they have. Now, if I had, $300 million, $500 million, I might talk about it a little bit too.
I'm not telling nobody about that.
But McGregor is like, I saw a picture of him in training camp, and he's fighting in Gucci shorts, like silk Gucci shorts.
Well, the last one in London, the press conference that they had whenever Mayweather came out, he had this crazy, shiny, really awesome necklace-looking thing on there, and I don't think if we pulled together all the money that we make in 3 years, we could buy it.
No.
There's no chance.
No, he wears ridiculous stuff, and they're going to go broke. I don't know how Floyd could go broke with as much money as he made, but they'll go broke. Like
right.
that, you cannot spend. I listened to an interview with Mike Tyson. Did you hear that interview this week?
I did hear
Pardon
that.
my take.
Yeah.
Where they were talking about he had pet tigers.
Yeah, and he had a 18-wheeler for his pet
So
tiger.
if he flew from L.A. to New York, he would have the pet tiger on an 18-wheeler driven to New York. And that's why you can't have. He made $400 million and he's broke.
And you wonder where.
Well, I think he's probably a millionaire again.
Yeah,
but he doesn't have $400 million laying around.
No,
you cannot do.
He's got to work now.
You can't make life decisions like that. And I'm like Dave Ramsey over here. I'm just giving.
Well,
you have to live like nobody else so you can get whatever.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely some things you could be like Derek Carr and go buy a bunch of Chick-fil-A, or you can be like Mike Tyson and go buy a tiger. I think it's one of them sounds a little bit more responsible, but
tiger sounds funner though. I will give it to Mike.
Yeah.
All right, man. On that note, I got to get out of here. It is way past my bedtime, and
another successful taping.
Yeah, so we'll see you guys next week. JD's not going to play our outro here, so I'll hum it.